Welcome to Crack Pack. My name is Andrew. Today we're cracking open Dominaria United. Let's get cracking. Our first card today is a soldier token. Then we have a swamp for our land. We have a foil Llanowar Stalker. Then we have Anointed Peacekeeper, Lagomos Hand of Hatred, Joda's Codex, Prayer of Binding, Magnagoth Sentry, Charismatic Vanguard, Battlefly Swarm, Radiant Grove, Shore Up, Gaia's Might, Benelish Faithbonder, Furious Bellow, and Bog Badger. So again, Bog Badger, Furious Bellow, Benelish Faithbonder, Gaia's Might, Shore Up, Radiant Grove, Battlefly Swarm, Charismatic Vanguard, Magnagoth Sentry, Prayer of Binding, Joda's Codex, Lagomos Hand of Hatred, Anointed Peacekeeper, which for 2 and a white is a 3/3 human cleric with vigilance. That also says, as Anointed Peacekeeper enters the battlefield, look at an opponent's hand, then choose any card name. Spells your opponents cast with the chosen name cost 2 more to cast, and activated abilities with the chosen name cost 2 more to activate unless they're mana abilities. So this is a hate bear that will specifically lock down, or not lock down, but make abilities and cards just a little bit more difficult to cast for a specific card. This is definitely better in non-singleton formats. This is not going to be great in Commander unless you are able to hit something that multiple opponents have. Or if they just have a very scary or threatening card that you really don't want them to be able to get, or you really want to punish them for getting just that one card. I mean, you could use this, but there's better ways to do that in Commander than Anointed Peacekeeper. This is definitely better in non-singleton formats where you have potentially up to 4 of a kind of a card. And then instead of making them pay 2 more, you're making them potentially pay up to 8 mana more to use all 4 of that copies of that card. And however many times they activate any abilities, you're making them pay 2 more per activation. And if there's 4 copies of that card, that's a lot more potential activations than in a singleton format like Commander, where you are probably only getting to activate that once, maybe twice. So for me, I'm not going to be using this, at least not right now. I don't have a non-singleton format deck with white in it at the moment. It's the one that I did is in pieces, so I might throw this in if I rebuild a Pioneer deck in white, or Standard if I ever venture back into Standard. But for me right now, this is it's nice. It's a good hate bear. It's a good means for just locking your opponent down just a little bit more in the non-singleton formats, but right now that's not my main focus. I'm playing a lot more Commander than I am Pioneer or Modern or Standard. But if you're using this, let me know. I really do think this is a good card for other formats than Commander. If you're using this somewhere, let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's see what you're doing with it. Are you just using it as a hate bear, or do you have a different strategy you're using with this? Next we have a foil Llanowar Stalker. And our land is a swamp. And we have a soldier token to round out the pack. And that's all for today. Thank you for cracking along with me. Be sure to check back tomorrow as we crack open another pack.